Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a spotlight on Darkout. This game was kindly provided to me by the wonderful people over at fireflowergames.com. This is a 2D side-scrolling action-adventure sandbox survival game. That's a mouthful. To simplify it, think Terraria. Only different. Similar style, same genre. This is a game where you are on a planet, you crash land on a planet, and you have to figure out a way of surviving this or saving the universe as well from this apocalypse that is essentially causing everything to turn dark. Hence, Darkout. Let's hop in here and see what we got. Okay, so here we are healing up because we just got our butts handed to us. So here is our nice little hovel. We've got a couple different things here. We're not too far. I've got a couple hours in the game. Not a lot. I've got my second tier of armor, and I've got a furnace and a Combinator. Weirdest name for a crafting system ever. So this game has a power system, all that fun stuff that I have not got into yet. Apparently, it requires a lot of power for different machines, but these two, you can turn them on and off, but they don't seem to draw any power. They're self-powered. I'm not entirely sure on the power system. Can't really speak for it. But one thing to note is that you do have this whole follow mouse system. So as you move the mouse around, the camera pans around. You can zoom out, and you can still pan around, and there's a jellyfish creature way up in the sky. And you can zoom in really quite far, and you can still pan around. There's a jellyfish. Nice little red jellyfish. So I'm going to keep it there, and I'm going to open my inventory so the panning stops, because it is freaking annoying. Alright, so as is normal, you have a bed. You can sleep in it to make it day. One thing to note is there is a day-night cycle, but the day-night cycle, it doesn't really do much, let's be honest. You do get more enemies spawning at night. That's pretty much it. Visually, there's not a huge difference. There's a bit of a difference, but not a huge difference. Like right now, I think we're night. Yeah. And we sleep. And now we're day. Well, I guess early morning. So it's still very, very dark. It does get a little bit brighter. That's a little spider guy. Actually, let's zoom in a little bit more. So second tier armor here actually heals you, which is a beautiful thing. So let's go through quickly the different mechanics. Oh, I've got some data modules that I've picked up over the past little bit. So basics of the game, if you've ever played Terraria, Starbound, any of the other games that are even remotely similar to this, you're pretty familiar with the very core basics. You know, you can attack, you can move, you can jump, you can build things. It's just that simple. You gather wood to make wood, you gather stone to make stone. It's pretty simple. You've got different machines. What this game does, this is actually really cool. Unlike a lot of the other games where you pretty much have everything. You start off with the ability to make everything. Anything you want, you can make. This game, you have a research. And you have to have a certain amount of research points, which are gathered through doing anything. Like, literally anything. So, I go, and let's chop down this tree. So, we're going to chop this tree down. And eventually it'll fall. There we go. I got 3 for chopping down that tree. So it's only a little bit there, but you get something. You get it for killing enemies. So I can come here and beat the crap out of these enemies. And you can't really tell how many I got there because there were so many enemies. Wow, all the geckos. All of the geckos. Pick that up. Pick that up, girl. You're not going to pick that up. Fine. Not going to pick that up. I don't want it anyway. So you can pretty easily, pretty quickly, see I got one there, gain these research points. So you're never really at a loss for research points. I've only had, I think, once where I ran out of research points. And that was because I kind of left my research and just kind of did a whole bunch of it at one time while not doing anything. So research is pretty simple. When you hover over something, it tells you what it is. So in this case, it's a metal closet, which is a storage system, level 3. You can recycle it in a smelter, requires a workbench, and 4 iron bars. And the container size is 20. So that's pretty much it there. And it is a tier 2. So I'm actually getting into some tier... Oh, I've got some tier 5 stuff. That's crazy. Now, everything requires a certain amount of research points. It has a tier and it requires a certain thing. And to craft it, you require a certain station. So this requires a chem lab. This requires a smelter. This is a furnace. So there's requirements. But to research it, you don't actually need access. So I'm actually going to shut these off. If I try to make something, let's go here and... Where is it? Should be resources. What do I have? I have some copper ore. So let's go and try to make a copper bar. It will say furnace has no power. So I can't make a copper bar because the furnace has no power. But if I come over here, and this requires a furnace, but it requires a copper and an iron bar, which I have one of each. As you can see, I don't have it in my inventory. This is actually another really cool thing. I have it in my storage. So I've got the tin and the copper in my storage. Let's close this. But as long as they're within range, I'll automatically pull it from it, which is really cool. So I hit that and it'll make it. But I won't be, or it will research it. But it does use, so it used an iron bar. It used a copper bar. So if we come over here, I've got 29 now instead of 30. And I will not get that. So essentially to build one of those doors, it's requiring 2 of each. And that obviously scales down from the more you make. But some things you're pretty much only going to make once, such as your armor. So to make your armor, let's go over here to our suits of armor. To make your leather chest piece, you require 4 leather, 3 tin, and 1 light goo jar. And it requires the Combinator to actually make. So when you research that, it's taking 4 leather, 3 tin, and 1 light goo jar. And providing you back with nothing but a recipe. You then have to do it again. Personally, not really a fan of that. I think your research should actually require the actual making of. How best to describe what I'm talking about? Essentially, I should have to have the Combinator enabled. I should have to have it active and ready and within reach in order to research the leather chest piece. And then I actually am crafting it. It's the first crafting of it. And that's my thinking on it. That's how I feel it should go. Because otherwise, you're basically just throwing these items out in order to craft them. But it also causes some inconsistencies in the way this works. So if you follow that same pattern, when doing the Mark II, which is what I have, it should eat up your existing leather chest piece, 3 copper, and a light goo. It does not. It eats up the copper pieces, and it eats up the light goo, but it doesn't touch the leather chest piece. And I'm assuming that's because you've already spent twice for the leather chest piece, and they're trying to make it, better. So you don't have to have 2 on you. And which would be really annoying. But this in itself is really annoying to me. It's very inconsistent. And that's one thing I look for, is kind of consistency. And this breaks that flow. And I personally don't like what happened to all these ingredients. This is kind of my major contention point with the game. It really is. Everything about the crafting system I like, except for when you research something, it uses the resources and essentially just tosses them. And you seem to be able to research them without the actual ability to make them. For example, you'll notice that these are the only two machines I have. If I come down to, I think it's resources, sulfuric acid, I require a bucket of water and a single sulfur, which I have, but I can't make it because I don't have a chem lab. I didn't even know a chem lab existed until I researched this. I researched this, and then I tried to make it, and it said you need a chem lab. I then had to look up what a chem lab was and figure out how to make it and what I needed. And I needed an iron bar, I need glass, and electric cable. And apparently I lack glass. Well, that's poop. Let's turn these guys on now. So I never made this. I had to specifically go out and hunt for this chem lab. It boggles my mind that I'm able to research a chemical compound without the chem lab. I feel that should be required. You should need the chem lab in order to actually do the chem lab stuff. But that's me. Obviously, I am not the designer of the game. I would have designed it that way. So that's your crafting system anyway, in a nutshell. You can craft all sorts of things. As you craft things, you gain more research. It's basically, once you get some of the components or get the ability to make the components, for the most part, this metal floor hatch, I don't think I have metal platforms. I don't think I've ever researched metal platforms. That should be under building? I might have metal platforms. There's a lot here. Oh, yeah, I do have metal platforms. Not sure where I got them from. Maybe it was one of those things I researched in my mass research. Or it came with something else. Like, I have all sorts of stuff that I don't remember researching here either. Look at all these wall panels. But, yeah, I can't remember what I was going for. Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot you can do. There's a lot in here. If they did not have it categorized like this, it would be just an immeasurable mess. Kind of like Terraria. Terraria is an immeasurable mess when it comes to its crafting system. There are certain areas that I think should be subcategorized, like building. You should have stone. You should have... quiet, you stupid owl thing. I'm assuming it's an owl. You know, you should have wood, you know, metal things. Just, I'd like to see this a little more subcategorized. Some of the categories kind of lose me at times. You know, like storage. Okay, glass jar, but what are you actually storing in the glass jar? So that would be kind of a resource to me. But again, I'm not the one that categorized it. Anyway, so there's also a power system. The power system in here I have not investigated. This is actually the closest part to the power system. Let's just do some mass research here. Oh, you can only research so many things. So you can only have 5 things in your research queue, just like in your crafting queue. Each item requires a certain amount of time as well as research points. Oop, no, I want to keep that up. And I want to get rid of this guy. There we go. You've got your storage systems, which are really small. A little bit of space for a very large area. You can't overlap. Like, these torches are very, very big, to be honest. Like, I would like to be able to put the torch up in this block, but it can only go in this block. You cannot put it up here. Torch placement is awkward at best. Like, you cannot put torches on the back wall at all, which kind of boggles my mind. You can... oh, no. You can't. There we go. So you can put it on top. It's just... it's very difficult to place them at times. Like, I would expect it be able to figure out that you want to put it there, but you actually have to be on the block that's already placed in order to place it. So, for example, here. Come on. Apparently, I can't place it anywhere there. You can't place it on platforms. It's just, there's so many rules. Like, apparently, this one here, I can place there. But none of these other ones I can. Just too many cocked up rules. Oh, now I can. Apparently, maybe I was just being stupid. Nope. Here's a case where I can't put it up there. And there it goes. It's just finicky. Placement of things is tremendously finicky. You have to be in the exact right spot. They're actually a smaller hitbox to place things than to mine things. Like, at least the mining, it has this outline, and it selects what it is, and you can only mine certain things. They can't have anything on them, which kind of makes sense, you know, if you got that. Oh, get out of here. Die, you bastard. If it has something on it, you can't mine it. I don't get it when it's just a basic plant. I get it when it's a tree. You know, you got this tree. Obviously, I can't dig from below it. The roots will stop me. So you have to chop the tree down. That's fine. These small plants, I think you should. Now, that's just me. That's personal preference. It's not really a big deal to pick them up on your own. And it's nice that it doesn't allow you to do that as well, because you could take out your torches. So, you know, you've got that. Controls need to be explained more. They really do. The controls in the game, which are kind of hidden away in the menu here. You got to go into manual, and then where are they? Key bindings, and then it tells you your key bindings. If you like to check out the wiki is so freaking out of date. It is useless. It really is. These controls are completely different from what the wiki says. It is just insane. Pick up items and interact with items and devices are your big ones. You would think, let's get back out of here and return to the game. You would think that, we'll just do it in here, that if I drop an item, so let's drop some stone. There we go. You go past it, you would pick it up. No, you won't do it. You highlight it. Okay, I have this little box, so sure, I'll click on it. No. Nope, can't click on it. Press E. Nope, can't interact with it. You have to press Q. These items here, like the blocks here, you pick up with your pick, or in this case, apparently a shovel for the wooden platforms. Yeah, whatever the icon it wants to show, but, you know, you pick it up with your tools. These, you don't. You can't interact with them with your tools. It's just, it's very inconsistent. It's just a lot of inconsistencies. For this, if I want to pick that up, I have to hit Q. And then I can place it down with drag and drop. Other items, like if I want to, let's grab this wooden wall and apparently just drop it on the ground because my mouse likes to do that. I can't do that. All I can do is drop it. Like, that's all it will do is drop it. And I can pick it up. If I want to actually place it, I have to put it in my hotbar. I have to select it, and then I can place it. It's very strange that certain items can just be placed, certain items can be placed, they have to go on your hotbar. Just so many weird inconsistencies that happen. What else? Interacting with doors is cool. I've found nothing wrong with the audio. The music is kind of there. It's nothing, in my opinion, it's nothing to write home about. Probably one of the most spectacular parts of this game is actually the toolbar. As you can see, it's got 2 rows. Two slots for each item. So in this case, I've got my auto slot, which I can have my tool, and then my second slot, I have my sword. So what I can do here is I can keep it on my auto, and I can attack at the same time as I dig. So with this, what the hell happened to all my torches? Okay, torches burn out? I wonder if torches burn out. Wow. I think torches burn out. And see, here, this is another thing. Like, why can't I put a torch there? I don't know why. This wall is the same. There's this jut out, that's just a graphical thing. But I can't put a torch there. Apparently I can't put a torch there either. But I bet you I can put a torch here. Yep. It's inconsistent. Inconsistent is probably the best way I could describe this game. I don't know how these torches have burnt out. I don't know what has happened. Not sure if I want to know. But this is my tunnel down to hell. I always build one of these just to see how far the world goes down. And I'm going to be honest, it goes really far. Like, really, really far. There we go. This is as far as I've managed to go. So with this actually works well. So I can dig straight down, and if something happens to come and drop on me, I can just immediately switch over to my sword. And that guy is not someone I want to mess with. He hurts, even with my armor. One thing I'd like to note is a little bit of oddity here. This just comes off as strange to me. This suit, if we hover over top of it, it tells me that it has a brightness of 12, which a torch has a brightness of 20 and a radius of 8, and this has a radius of 6. So there should be, in my opinion, some light coming off of my character here. This could be bad. This might kill me eventually. But as you can see, there is no light being emitted from my character. Ow. And I personally would like to see light being emitted from my character. If I'm wearing, you know, a suit of armor that supposedly produces light. There. Nice. And that may come across as being nitpicky. And then I can switch my mode over to just pick up one. And then there's that. Weird. Putting my things somewhere else. But especially since, you know, I can't place torches where I want to place torches. I can only place them where they deem it, I guess, proper to place torches. I don't understand a lot of this. This torch does not go very far. Like, why can't I place a torch here? This is like probably one of my biggest beefs. I could get away with not being able to place it on the back wall if I could place it on these platforms. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, I'm not going any farther down because they're stop jumping in the tar pool. There is a tar pool there. Tar hurts. I'm guessing it's hot tar. But it's very, very useful. Get out. It is very useful for making things. It's used for rubber. It's used for your torches. What else is it used for? Oh, that guy got out. Die. Nice. What else is it used for? I can't remember what else it's used for, but it's used for a lot of different things. So it is very valuable. It is probably one of the most valuable things you're going to use, as far as I've noticed so far. What else should I What have I not mentioned aside from a lot? Controls work fine. Overall, the controls work good. Actually, I should mention this gun, this fish. It really looks like a fucking fish. This is a light gun. You've got your glow bullets that glow cyan. I really don't know what the color has to do with anything. I'm guessing it may have something to do with something. See if we can find one of those other creatures. Go back down here. I am not equipped to actually be this low, so this is why I'm fairly cautious. Where are you? You smelly bastards. I don't really want to waste a bullet and just shoot it to shoot. There we go. So we've got a bat. Or, no, that's not a bat. That's a spider. Stop moving! Okay. So, as you can see, I've got the bullets in the second slot and the gun in the first. This is actually glow bullets. So what they do is they emit a light on their own. So where these guys are not really vulnerable unless they're in a light, this actually emits the light to weaken them. Wow, that wasn't even an attempt of a jump, was it? Alright, well, we're not picking up that. Which I have a bunch of, you know, shadow essences. They are used as crafting ingredients. Not as often as I would suspect they would be used. I'm guessing they'd be used a little later, more often. Right now, things that I want are like sand and stone, iron, tin. Those are basically your initial starting. Right now, I think I want more iron than anything. Which, that's coal. Really don't have any use for coal, to be honest. Coal doesn't really serve much of a purpose. At least not that I've found. It has a purpose, but not much of one. Let's actually get rid of that. So, yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything. Except for one. One thing. Is the game any fun? Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is, it's fairly enjoyable. It's not as enjoyable as some of the others. I honestly couldn't see myself spending a lot of time. I got a drop shipment in the middle of nowhere. It's not as fun as some other games in this genre, but it does have its merits. Oh, jeez. The thing caught fire. What did I get here? I got a dynamo. Ooh, dynamo. It's not as fun as some in the genre. There's nothing specifically wrong with it. This could just be my perspective of it. It's not really... I apparently went underneath there for a second. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me, to be honest. It feels like it's lacking. It feels almost like it's trying too hard to be something. And it really can't do it. But that's my perspective of it, and not necessarily anybody else's. So, definitely, it might be interesting. If you're a big fan of these type of games, it might be worth checking out. It does have some interesting aspects to it. But placing torches is not one of them. Placing torches will make you freaking rage your face off. There. Especially when plants grow on the ground. And you can't really get rid of these stalactites. It's awkward. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of my babbling about this. I hope you've enjoyed my little look at this. Thank you all for watching. And we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, or add me to your Google Plus circles. I also have a Patreon campaign going on. Feel free to support me on there if you so desire. And if you want to see more, click that subscribe button.